Hey, welcome back to Weather on the Go, everyone. This is Hunter, and I hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday out there so far. We have a lot to talk about in this video. In particular, a major wildfire, the Palisades Fire, is burning in Southern California into the San Gabriels, into the San Fernando Valley here, and a very, very crippling situation over there with some very dry vegetation and very dry conditions sparking that fire. And we're talking about a major winter storm moving across the United States, and actually really a couple of them over the next couple of weeks we're going to break down in this video. So if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll keep you covered on the latest with the fires and also the winter storms on this channel, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to turn on all post notifications so you're notified for future videos and live streams. Like the video by giving it a thumbs up, and of course share this video with friends, family, and on social media. Let's look here at the wildfire smoke currently, and you can see it is still burning in full rage here across Southern California, just to the west of Los Angeles, again into the San Gabriel region and also the San Fernando Valley. So my heart goes out to our friends over here in Southern California. We do have PDS red flag warnings. It's a particularly dangerous situation red flag warning here in Southern California. Also in conjunction with that, we have high wind warnings, which is really starting to increase again today, the very strong winds. And you can see, looking at the relative humidity in this area, in the single digits in percentages this afternoon. We improve a little bit tonight, but still very low relative humidity values into the 15-20% range. And then going into tomorrow, we crash back into the single digits in some areas. So a very crippling fire situation out here, and it's adding insult to injury of those high winds. We could be seeing wind gusts in the San Gabriel area into the San Fernando Valley here in Southern California that could be approaching 70, if not 80 miles per hour in some of those areas. So it's going to be very crippling situation with the wildfire risk out here, and we're not getting any help from Mother Nature either. Here's the total precipitation going through Friday, January 10th, and not a drop of rain in Southern California to help out with these fires. Let's move ahead and look at the United States. Here were your low temperatures this morning. Very cold start to the day across the heartland. Temperatures were into the 0-degree range, above or below here in a lot of areas across the upper Midwest, stretching back there toward the plains. Here were the wind chills starting off the morning. So as you were heading off to work or school, temperatures and the real feel out there was minus 15, minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit in some areas. We have improving as we go into the afternoon. We're still going to see some colder air, though, hanging around the Great Lakes region in particular, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley up toward the Northeast, and the Mid-Atlantic. A lot of these areas will remain in the teens and 20s this afternoon, and those wind chills will remain in the single digits to teens as well. So it's going to be a very cold afternoon up there into the Great Lakes. Not Arctic air, like real true Arctic air, but enough that we could start to see more of the colder air moving further south. That freezing line really going all the way to the south there. Looking here at the next couple of days, Thursday into Friday here, it's the 9th into the 10th of January, the cold air will stick around across the deep south and the southeast. Going into the weekend, Saturday into Sunday, January 11th into the 12th, the colder air again will remain in place across the southeast, and that is setting the foundation. We have a major winter storm that is on the way, and this cold air will help that precipitation change over, and we could have some wintry weather very far south here with this one. So here's the latest on the weather alerts across the country. In the medium blues here, those are winter storm watches, and that actually takes up residents across the entirety of the state of Tennessee, by the way, but that does stretch back here into north central Texas, all the way east here in towards areas of the western Carolinas and western Virginia, all the way up into Kentucky again as well. And notice how far south it is. Northern parts of Louisiana, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, and North Georgia. Places like Atlanta are in the winter storm watch. Places like Huntsville and Florence back here into Tupelo. You guys are all in that winter storm watch. In the pinks here, these are winter storm warning upgrades for areas around and north of the Dallas-Fort Worth area over here toward Texarkana and near Little Rock, as well as most of southern Arkansas. I do expect these to change over to winter storm warnings as we do get closer here for places like Tennessee, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, and perhaps northwest Georgia as well, going closer. So let's look at the afternoon. Calm before the storm here. We don't have much going on. A little clipper system bringing some moderate snow up here in Montana. Our main piece of energy and feature is down here in northern Mexico today. That's actually bringing that snow line a lot further south, the cold air. And then we have some snow flurries, maybe some freezing drizzle in western Texas as we go into tonight. A more formidable clipper really starting to develop snow up here from Wyoming into the western Dakotas here, the Black Hills region of South Dakota as well as we go into tonight. And then a more mature cyclone developing as we go into Thursday. We're going to have that freezing line up there toward North Texas. Very tricky forecast for the Dallas-Fort Worth area on Thursday. I think we could start off with a wintry mix of rain and snow with some freezing rain and sleet in there, and then we'll change over to all snow with dynamic cooling on the backside there Thursday night. So heavy snow from Dallas-Fort Worth up there toward Little Rock and even into the Memphis area as we go into Thursday night. Rainfall, heavy rain further south here from Victoria, Texas, up to Houston, Shreveport, over to Jackson, into Mississippi there Thursday night. Some pretty heavy rainfall, some thunderstorm activity. Not currently, concerned about a severe weather standpoint, but as we go into Friday, heavy snow breaking out again from Little Rock over here towards Memphis, Nashville, into Jackson, Tennessee, into the Tupelo area, Huntsville and Florence, seeing some heavier snows, and then some heavier snows over there into Atlanta, the metro area there as well, and some of that snowfall could actually expand, but probably lighter snow further north toward the Chicagoland area, Indianapolis, and up there here into the Ohio Valley on Friday. Saturday, it's a more suppressed look. This storm is more likely to go further south, so the Northeast won't be affected too much. But we will likely see some lighter snow up here in the parts of the Northeast, New England, and Mid-Atlantic as we go into the day on Saturday. New clipper comes down from Canada here in the Northwest flow, could bring some decent snows across parts of the northern U.S. as we go into Saturday, Sunday. So if you're in the Dakotas, Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, over to Michigan, you could see some of that Saturday into Sunday. So let's look at the snowfall accumulation between now and the end of the weekend on Sunday, January 12th. And notice the heaviest of the snows, the narrow swath, but a potent swath of snow from the Dallas-Fort Worth area toward Texarkana, Little Rock, Memphis, Tupelo, over here into Huntsville and Florence. That's the area where we could see easily 6 to 8 inches worth of snow here. And zooming it in, some of these totals are pretty bullish, and maybe even pushing 9 inches in isolated spots cannot be ruled out. It's going to be a very narrow swath of snow here. And then the further east you go, it's going to weaken a little bit, but we still see a decent 3 to 6 inches across most of the state of Tennessee. We still see a good 2 to 4 or 3 to 6 inches as well into northern portions of Alabama, over here into northern Georgia, and then a couple of inches over into the western and central Carolinas, and then it starts to weaken further north and east. The Northeast doesn't get that much snow, maybe an inch or two, but other than that, not a big snowmaker for the Northeast or New England. Looking at ice is going to be a major problem as well, while not probably a crippling ice storm here like we saw in the Ohio Valley, for example, in like Evansville, Indiana, or Lexington like we saw, but we are actually seeing the potential of still a 1/10 of an inch, maybe 2/10 of an inch of ice here in central Texas with this system, and it is Texas, so we don't have the treatments like we do up in Minnesota here down in this region very much, and it's not as widespread, so definitely going to be causing some problems. And then you can see a couple hundredths to a 1/10 of an inch of ice that extends across Dixie Alley here and into the Carolinas and southeast Virginia going through Sunday too. Looking at travel impacts day by day, so for today, not really looking at any major travel impacts, and that will be pretty limited and minor back here into West Texas as some of that snow starts to fly, especially tonight across those areas. More major travel impacts here across the DFW Metroplex over to Texarkana and Little Rock here, at least seeing those moderate travel impacts as we go into Thursday, and then much more of a major concern for travel for northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, North Georgia, much of the state of Tennessee, into the western Carolinas, and up into the Virginia as we go into Friday with those moderate, even major travel impacts there to end the week. So make sure you are taking all the precautions that you need. Make sure you go out and buy a shovel, buy some salt out there. You're going to need it with this winter storm. Behind this storm system, we're going to see some colder air. So another dump of cold air from the north is going to come down, and between the 13th and the 17th of January, we're going to see that replenish our snowpack across this region. So we're going to see more snow to the north with clipper systems, and that will bring down some colder air, and it's going to be below normal. So looking at the precipitation outlook, drier air is, cold air is dry air. So we're going to see drier conditions out west. Unfortunately, again, again for Southern California. So we're really have a lot of our prayers go out to our friends over here in Southern California with our wildfires. And then the drier air continues across the east. Now we're going to start to see some moisture across New Mexico and South Texas. Also a clipper system track to the north across Montana, parts of Wyoming, the Dakotas, and northern Minnesota that could bring some snow down from time to time, and some weaker systems. Here's the more mature system we're keeping an eye on, and the Climate Prediction Center has been keeping an eye on as well. Looking at the 18th to the 20th, maybe extending that out to the 21st time frame, we could have some heavier rains across portions of the deep south, and this would be on the warm side of the system by the time we get to this time frame, and this could also result in some severe weather. And then on the northwest side of any low pressure storm track from the plains up into the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, we could have some heavy snow, a slight risk of that between the 18th and the 20th, and again, they could extend that out to the 21st, and then some lake effect snow as well for western New York State, northwest Pennsylvania, and northeast Ohio between the 15th and the 17th. This is a classic synoptic look for winter. If you love snow in the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the plains, this is the look you want to see. You have blocking up here to the west across portions of the Aleutian Islands up in Alaska there. You have a southeast ridge, although a weaker ridge, starting to build across the southeast, and that is going to suppress the cold air further south across portions of southern Canada and the northern U.S. The storm track is going to be right in between the displacement from the warmer, milder air to the south, colder air to the north, and that is what we call the baroclinic zone, and that is where we're going to see that low pressure storm track here between the 17th and the 24th, really kind of between the 18th and the 21st like we were mentioning. So let's look here at a couple models. Again, these are operational models. They're going to change 1.5 million times before we get here. This is just giving you an idea of what we could be dealing with on our hands as we go in towards that January time frame. So let's the 18th time frame, that is. So the GFS model, the 18th, has a pretty strong low, 997 millibars, somewhere up here in the Midwest. The northwest side of that track, this particular model has it from Wisconsin, Michigan, back into southern Minnesota and Iowa with the heavy snow and more rain to the south, maybe some severe weather. So we'll keep an eye on that. The Euro model for a little few days behind that on the January 21st, so there are timing differences. We are still several days out, but look at here, 994 millibars, a lot further east, and it has a more of a major crippling ice storm, cold air damming here across portions of the mid-Atlantic possibly, heavy rain, severe weather setup on the southeast side, and a classic blizzard look here on the northwest side for places like Chicago, down to St. Louis here, and Indy. So we're going to keep a very close eye on this storm as we do get closer. This is going to change, again, 1.5 million times. I cannot stress that enough, folks. Don't take these model runs and run with it. Just giving you an idea of what we could be dealing with on our hands as we go into the third week of January. Behind that storm system, the second one, we are going to see another dump of cold air ushering in from Canada into the southern United States again between the 17th and the 24th. And again, that will keep winter going across the lower 48 and southern Canada. So if you're a winter lover out there, you are definitely loving this weather pattern. I'm loving the weather pattern as well. I live in northern Illinois. I want some snow. We don't have much snow on the ground right now. I'm hoping for it and crossing my fingers as well. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like the video by giving it a thumbs up down below. Turn on all post notifications. I will be doing a video likely this evening updating you on this winter storm and the potential for another major winter storm into the third week of January in this very active pattern. So make sure the post notification bell is turned on for everything, for videos to live streams. We'll keep you covered this evening as well. And again, share this video with friends, family, and on social media, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Wednesday out there.